That's really
episode.
good. What's
Damn.
good? It's
200.
episode 200.
200 and shit, man. Whoever thought 200, man?
We
That's
didn't come to
insane.
play
I can't
the
believe it.
show. We came to let y'all know it's episode 200. Okay.
That's
We
right,
came to
baby. This
talk
ain't no
talk.
100.
Period. This is
200,
200.
baby.
Say it in Spanish. Okay. Say it in Spanish.
200.
This is what it is. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Now,
y'all should have saw what Jubilee suggested we do for this episode that I wasn't doing it, but
give us the sombreros. Yes. So let's bring the energy. Okay. Charles didn't want to. He didn't want to do it.
David, I said no. I said absolutely not. I just want to let you know that, brother. You was on the text, but it just still.
Yeah.
Oh man,
That's like if even though everybody might like hats and everything, Jubilee. That's like if we did this somewhere else and another race was like, and we all just gonna have fried chicken and watermelon as to open up, and they gonna be like, but everybody likes fried chicken and water. It's like, stop it.
But can we ask our brothers, like, what is the perception of sombreros? Like, is that one of those things like how we feel about fried chicken and watermelon when people think that just goes with black people, right? I can tell you what don't go with black people: potato salad with raisins in them. I don't think it go with brown people.
Oh, hell no, Karen. You can keep your bland ass potato salad to yourself. Damn. It's going to be one of the most
Shout out to Saturday Night
Black
Live.
Jeopardy. Yeah, man. Shout out to Charlie Postman, man. Our boy up in heaven, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no,
man.
see, the thing with sombreros, man, they're only Mexican. Only.
Yeah.
And at that, it's not like our Mexican compadres are walking around with pinche sombreros all the time. They were often used, during the cowboy days, during like the times of the Mexican revolutions. Like, you don't see cats just walking around with sombreros and shit. Those are in a mariachi band.
I used to live in the Fruitvale. I swear to God, I used to see sombreros all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, David knows the Fruitvale, but I used to live in the Fruitvale. But yeah, it was.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Fruitvale Station.
Yeah.
I love mariachi.
Mariachi.
I love mariachis. And then I don't know. I do know that the joke was like the curlier the end of the boot got, and then like they would do spoofs of. So I saw my Mexican homies doing spoofs of how high the tip of the boot. Can be.
That was a thing for a while. Yeah. So big ass tips on those botas.
Yeah, man.
That was big for a while, man. It ain't I don't know. Is that happening anymore, David? I have to check with my boys.
I don't think so.
Leave it in the comment section and see some big ass boots.
I feel like when they started making fun of it, it kind of went away because it was my Mexican homies was the ones making fun of it. They was making fun of their uncles. But today is the 200th episode for the South Star Classroom. Bonus points for anybody that remembers our original name as we reflect on some things later on today. Anybody remember the original name?
I mean, I do, but are you going to ask our?
Well, I mean, Jude wouldn't know because she wasn't. The name would already changed, I think, by that time. You remember, David?
Oh my God, it was really long. Self-determination.
The common grounds.
Common grounds of self-determination.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I'm not mad at it.
I mean, South Star Classroom ain't much shorter, but that's blame me for my horrible naming conventions. But this is the 200th episode, and the illustrious matriarch of the show had a suggestion for today, so we're gonna throw it to her, and let's hop into this.
I have a present for you, Charles.
Oh, okay.
The present is that what we just talked about can stand to be our check-in for today.
Oh, appreciate that.
Happy 200th episode. Oh my God.
It took 200 episodes, but there was finally some consideration for my hatred of these things.
Yes, but we'll be back next week with check-in. So really, absorb it while you can. All right. So let's listen. I said to Charles, like, let's tell him why we mad. Like, remember that? I forgot what radio show that was on. It's like, tell him why you mad.
Well, it came from a Biggie album, and then it turned into a larger thing. But yes, tell him why you mad.
Thank you.
The Mad Rapper.
The Mad Rapper, man.
Come on, man. And the Mad Producer. Come on, man.
Listen, hey, if I don't know, I don't know. You're not gonna get me up
I'm
here.
from Oakland. This is your people. This is Brooklyn people.
I mean, I get it, but I promise you, okay, I don't know all the Brooklyn things when it comes to old school.
Cool. It's just the most famous Brooklyn album of one of them of all time. But it's okay. It's fine.
So, you're gonna try to drag me and shame me on national television?
Oh, listen,
That's right.
That's right.
Global. This global television, man. Shit, we got Bill Conrad checks
They're
in
playing us
from like
across this
Indonesia
globe.
Absolutely.
And he is
Indiana.
trying to tell me
Like we
I'm
don't
not
know
big
which of the
enough.
eyes my man's in.
Absolutely. And
I've
for
had
the people
enough
that
of Charles.
for the people that may not know, right? And I David, you may or may not know. Well, you was a DJ, so you probably know. You know, you might not know Omar, but anybody watching, it came from a Biggie Smalls album, and then it kind of played on Biggie's album. Then the Mad Rapper and the Mad Producer was on Mace's album. It was a big bad boy thing, but it originated on Rated I. Like I don't like, you know. I mean, Life After Death. I'm sorry, Life After Death. It started on Life After Death. And that's Biggie. That's Biggie Smalls. That's.
I'm.
Where are you from, Jubilee? I'm sorry.
Oh, he is trying to
mansions and Benzes.
Where's he from?
I'm about to get my family in the chat to come for Charles. First of all, okay, I will defer to you. You are a music historian, okay?
I'm not.
I am not, okay? I am a yes, you are, and that's fine. But thank you for teaching me about my Black and Brooklyn history that I didn't know. Of course, I'm familiar with both albums, but I didn't realize that's where it started. So whatever is my point. Anyway, trying to embarrass me on international television. So tell them why you mad. So this whole DC takeover has me pretty pissed off. And I'm raising the issue because now that I'm living in the DMV, like there's more context, right? And it's literally 20 minutes away from where I live. And it was interesting because this weekend my son was like, "Oh, mommy, there's my friend is having an art gallery. He has a friend that's an extraordinary artist, and he likes to support him. So they go, and my son will shoot. He'll take video, and then and they actually meet a lot of different celebrities in the area, a lot of basketball players that are in the NBA and all that, and they on the spot will draw him, or his friend will. So he's like, "Mommy, I'm going down there." I said, "Where is it?" He said, "It's in DC." I said, "No DC, no DC." "Why, mommy? You don't even know what you saw." I said, "No DC." I said, "They got the FBI, the CIA, the PPT, the STT, the NTA. They have all the acronyms.
OPT over there.
OPT, all of the alphabets.
They got OCP, RoboCop over there and shit."
That part. So you will not go there because they are targeting people that look like you for breathing, for walking, right? That which has already been a problem. So that's why I'm mad. I'm raising it because it's been going on for a few weeks now.
What's actually going on? What's actually happening?
I'm gonna tell you.
Okay. We were talking about the boy. I'm like, what's going on?
Yes, what's going on? So August 11th, which was just a couple weeks ago, if that, President Trump invoked emergency powers under the DC Home Rule Act. So
indeed.
Right. He placed the city's police force under federal control and deployed federal agents and the National Guard into our nation's capital. And so his administration has said this move is because, there's a public safety issue in DC. We need to curb crime. We need to curb homelessness. So we are going to deploy all these folks and agencies into DC. So the tension is that while the White House is painting DC as a city in crisis, which some may agree with, right? The actual crime data shows that violent crime is down significantly compared to recent years. And even Governor Wes Moore took, to the internet to be like, this stuff is inflammatory. It's not true. It's inaccurate. But this is what the news is reporting, that crime, it's violent crime, it's on the rise, and it needs to be controlled. So local leaders that include the mayor of DC are saying that this is an abuse of power. It's even unconstitutional. The people in social media land are saying that the certain parts of the Constitution or the Bill of Rights have been removed from the website, right? All in favor of sort of bolstering up President Trump's defense that this is necessary and that this is not an overreach. So meanwhile, there's been 465 arrests since August 11th. Of course, they have been, unfortunately, predominantly Black people, and of course, from low-income neighborhoods. And of course, this is raising questions about who's being targeted and why. And this is not just a DC story, right? So last week, my hometown of New York, there was a shooting in Times Square by a 17-year-old pulled out a gun in the midst of a crowd, shooting a 19-year-old, right? And so in President Trump's addresses, he has mentioned other cities that he feels would benefit from this kind of takeover, New York being one of them, Baltimore being one of them as well. And so
Chicago and Oakland made the list too.
Oh no. So it's raising big questions about democracy, public safety, and the future of local control in America's cities. So got a couple of questions, right? So my first question is, right, first of all, let's get initial reactions. Initial reactions. I'm pissed about it, but I'll let y'all go. I'm pissed about it, but I'm gonna reserve my responses and let y'all go. So any initial reactions? I'll start with you, David.
Yeah, I mean, so I too am like upset with what's going on in DC, and there are other cities that they've kind of thrown out there that would be next. I think the mayor of Baltimore, I heard him on a show last week, and they're saying the homicide rate in Baltimore is like way down, right? And still like it's been identified as this like lawless city, and I think back to the late winter, early springtime when the ICE and Border Patrol raids started happening, right? And we started to see a blending of the lines where now we normally, under normal circumstances, uniformed police officers have 95% of interactions with the public. In some cases, depending on where you are, Border Patrol. But now we have all these other alphabet soup agencies that are pouring into cities, and like they're not even identifying themselves. You don't know who they are. They're wearing masks. I mean, it really goes, if you're like a real like hardcore First Amendment, Second Amendment, like American, like this should concern you, because they're truly like weaponizing our own armed forces, our own security forces that are designed to actually protect us, to harm us in our own communities. And they're doing it, under these emergency codes. And I think it's a really, really dangerous, slippery slope. So that's why I got my camo on today, because we're at war, baby.
Ready for war. Ready.
Yep.
What about you, Charles? What are your thoughts?
I feel pretty similar to you both. I'm trying to move my picture, but the thing is in a way. I feel pretty similar to you both, though, in a lot of ways, right? I think that, I think Trump is he's an habitual line stepper. He absolutely is, and I think that there is a lot of political posturing that's happening. I also will say this: I think you got to be able to hold multiple things at the same time. I think Trump is doing. And can y'all tell how tired I'm talking about Donald Trump? Is it evident?
Yes,
okay.
It is evident.
This administration? Yeah. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure that came through.
Nice hat.
Huh?
Nice hat. Love it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think that
literally stepping over lines.
I think he's definitely a habitual line stepper, but I also think that he's playing to his base. I think, especially with this Epstein stuff and his base being upset with him, I think that he has to get him some red meat. I think that in his mind, this is low-hanging fruit, but I also think that he does want to assert his dominance. I think he wants to show up some of these liberal places that do tend to have poor crime data. And but shout out to there's Baltimore, there's a bunch of black-led cities that have saw decreases as of late, and I think that that's important to note. And I also think some people are lying. I think when some people are saying that there's no issues here in this place or whatever the case is, I'm like, I don't think you live there. I hate, for one, when I lived out there are two places that I grew up and call home, Oakland and Chicago. And there's always a lot of fodder and conversation, right? Like, oh, well, people try to explain certain things about black on black crime or versus proximity and things like that, which I agree. I studied it, right? But then somebody would go too far and be like, and it's just safe there. Like, their crime's not an issue. Then you just gotta be like, all right, B, like, calm down. And I think that there was overreaches by both Republicans and Democrats. Let me tell you what a Democrats' overreach was that I think helped play a part of this. and I just like looking inward. I'm a Democrat. I like looking inward. When we in California start to say we will change the classification of shoplifting and what counts as a felony, and people just went into Walgreens the next day and just start taking stuff and walking out. I think at that point, the most liberal person or people were just like, okay, y'all doing a lot, right? So we left the door open in a lot of different ways. Trump is not a hero or a savior to me. I think he sees an opportunity, and I think he's seizing it. I think he's taking it like a businessman. I also think that we have to find ways to protect our communities and our neighborhoods so we don't have to get to this place and to this point. If somebody's coming to visit me in Chicago and a certain place they want to go after a certain time, there's certain questions I'm gonna ask you, like, why? Why are you going there? Who do you know over there? And that's in every town. That's not just here. But don't play stupid games either, right? Like, so I'm just exhausted by all of it, Jubilee. I think that multiple things can be true, and I'm watching people have a lot of different reactions, and I'm reacting to the reactions in the sense of, are you still acting surprised? You still acting surprised. So that's my take.
Yep. Omar, what about you? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I always tend to go on the political side because I kind of see what's going on. So, look, he's talking about all these East Coast cities, right? East Coast ain't gonna vote for his ass. Like, ain't no one on the East Coast gonna vote for him. He's talking about all this shit in Cali and all the ICE stuff. And California is certainly not gonna vote for his ass. Well, now you've got this whole ICE thing backfiring, even in the heartland. So you'll see that across town halls, across some of the most conservative states, this ICE thing is backfiring. And that was like his one go-to thing. We're going to deport everybody and it's going to play up to the base, just like Charles said. And now that's just backfiring. So guess what? Let's go back to Old Faithful. Let's pick all the black towns in America and say that the gangs and the lawlessness is out of control so it can take attention away from the ICE calamity, take attention away from a furiously failed fucking economy. This motherfucker wouldn't have, I mean, I can't believe that this cat has a UPenn diploma, which is supposedly one of the best business schools in the country. I know he cheated his whole way through UPenn because I met Harvard professors who were classmates of his and were like, this fucking piece of shit was a cheater. I never saw his monkey ass in a class. I didn't see him do shit. So fuck this asshole.
Episode
The entire economy.
Can we just give it up for episode 200, the official
200, baby. You know, man, this is a celebration, baby. It's a celebration.
Official Omar rant.
I love Omar.
We have arrived.
I mean, fuck that motherfucker, man. And he's sitting here talking about like, ooh, we're gonna go after the black towns. I'm like, bitch, you know what the black town?
Are we on Roku today, y'all?
They're going.
Yep. No, man, we got Stephen Elliott on, who, by the way, I'm like, oh, word, you're going to run for president now? Thanks, ESPN. Thank you. You got a podcast to talk about the president, and this man thinking he should be president. Go home with a rock.
So listen, thank you, Omar. I appreciate that. You have fed my soul with your rant.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. You asked what pissed me off. That pissed me off.
I mean, listen, you got to tell them why you're mad. So I was like in the comments, and I realized that some of the folks that were in DC, all sorts of colors, black, brown, right, white. The white people usually, they don't be having profile pictures like that as much as black people. So they always come off as trolls. But anyway, and digging in the comments, some of our people were like, good, this is good. Like, don't nobody want these 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds carjacking us when we're trying to go down to the wharf to have a steak, right? Or to go to Fogo de Chao. We tired of that. Good.
Fogo de
Chao. Where their parents at? They parents ain't nowhere around. Now these ass kids is down there robbing people, snatching purses, wielding weapons. Very good. This is what they needed. Should have got their asses together before Donald Trump and his people had to. So that brings me to this question. Is this truly about keeping people safe, or is it an overreach of federal power for political purposes? And do you agree with any of that sentiment? Do you think that that is, is it misplaced? Is it valid? But that is in the chat. Some people are feeling like this is a good thing for the
I
city.
mean, I'll go first on this one if that's okay with you, Jubilee. Because it's related to other things that we're seeing in the media now too. So I want to bring up the example of this this Punjabi semi driver, right? That was driving somewhere in Florida, made an illegal turn, and somebody, a family of 3 like lost their lives, right? It was a terrible accident. He caused it, right? Clearly. So now it's become this rallying cry for, Punjabi or Arab, Middle Eastern truck drivers, right? Across the board, right? And they take these little examples, right? Like somebody got beat up a woman and a man got beat up in Cincinnati. Oh my God, Cincinnati, the horror of it, Yeah, it was terrible. It was filmed. It was wretched, right? But you have to sit back and look at the larger picture. Like, is this really an issue? Like, is crime in DC actually out of control? Do we have statistics to look at? Because what they're doing is they're taking these incidents that happen, which are crimes, right? People are getting hurt, people are getting killed. Crime is nothing new. But they feed it into the news cycle, the social media cycle, and the shit goes viral. And all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, we need the National Guard. They use it to justify, what they're doing essentially. Mm-hmm. You all know about this truck driver thing that I was talking about?
I don't.
Yeah. So he entered the country illegally a while back and somehow was able to get a license out of like Washington State and Oregon, maybe even California. So clearly some like loopholes were happening. And the Democrats take the blame. Biden takes the blame, but he was actually apprehended and released and not deported when Trump was in office his last term. So it's like they like to leave out the little parts, right? And so I think this thing that's happening in DC, again, I think it's a dangerous precedent. I think they're using and they're clearly targeting. We talked about this last week, Jubilee. This reminds me of like the Donald Trump and the Central Park 5, right? It's like this. It's like history is repeating itself. So I agree. We shouldn't be surprised by it, but I think we should. I think it's dangerous now because this man's in the White House, and the likelihood is there for a long-term takeover of DC. And think about what happens when he runs again, if he decides to run again, right?
Which is very illegal.
Well, and so is occupying a city without justification. So
yeah,
it all is. We can think about it like locally and at a granular level, but big picture, like it's a very disturbing thing that I think we're seeing happen right now.
Quite disturbing. And it's got me thinking, right? Like, is it truly about keeping people safe, right? And it's like, yeah, it is. But which people? Which people?
I think that's moot. I don't think that matters at all. I think it's political theater at a high level. And I think everybody's playing in this game. I think, the sister that like you sent this to the group, but she's playing into it as well. The sister that they're trying to eject from the spot so they can do whatever. They're making an overarching cartoonish type of thing, and she's responding also in kind, right? Like her team took that picture, right? Like, I don't like none of it. I don't like any of this shit. And I think that's like, listen, man, I don't know, y'all. As I look at this stuff, man, Trump is a wild boy. He's been a wild boy, but again, my party didn't do what they need to do to secure a win. Like, so this is what we dealing with. Like, elections got consequences, man. And they really, really do. And like, what is it how things are going to look next time? I think when we talk about public safety and really get into it though, like some of these places do have public safety concerns. I don't know if he's the person that I want doing that, but I don't know how, listen, man, I'm gonna just be all the way real. As a policy wonk dude, as somebody who loves poli-sci and things like that and believes racism is huge and it's impacted so many parts of my
Be all
life.
the way real, baby. Don't be halfway.
Yeah,
Don't be
yeah.
halfway
Like I
don't
know
half-assed
when they blowing
it.
smoke up our ass, right? I know when they kind of say we more dangerous or more violent or things like that. And yeah. But what my side does and what my people do and what I've seen happen, because I've been there, sometimes they'll be in trying to combat that, they'll go so far the other way. They'll go so far the other way. Like, because Jubilee, like, you know, like you got a son. If your son was like, I just want to go walk the streets of Chicago and see what that's about, you're gonna be like, what are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, and we got to stop doing that, man, because I've lost a lot of friends in my life. David has lost students. I think Omar and Jubilee, y'all have both talked about students that y'all have lost. And I'm gonna keep it a band with you. The vast majority of the friends I lost wasn't lost at the hands of a white cop. These racist cops and powerful people that abuse their power are off the chain and off the hook, and you should definitely punish them, and we should clean up those things. And I've lost a double-digit number of friends, and all of them was killed by somebody that looked like them, and that was obvious, that was poor, and that didn't have the things that they needed. I have guns in my house to protect my home because I know where I live.
Yeah.
And like it's like we got to be able to have honest, logical conversations, like where it's not one side jockeying to get a one up on the other side. Because no, I don't think Donald Trump is doing this for public safety or because that's what he thinks is right. I think he sees an opportunity, and stuff in neighborhoods like the ones I grew up in. I saw some horrendous, crazy, wild shit that has changed me forever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds like we would all agree that this is an overreach. Omar, you want to add anything? David?
And Omar, those necklaces are dope. We didn't like give you props on your look today, brother. You got the bees going. You got the native native vibe is popping.
This is
200. You're right.
It's 200, man. He's wild in it, baby. I love it.
I think he's high on peyote right now too.
Ain't peyote supposed to calm you down, David? Because he started off hot.
Yo, man, peyote's supposed to send you to the spirit world, baby. Spirit world, man. You're supposed to be seeing things. You ain't supposed to be talking this shit when you're on some peyote. Even my boy Alonzo was like, I think he's malfunctioning.
You're glitching, man.
You're glitching. The robot's going nuts.
Yeah, I mean, there have definitely been times when like federal armed or even unarmed forces have been used for positive, but it's like short-term stuff. So I mean, like sending in the whatever forces are sending into DC is not going to change the long-term behavior of people in that city, right? They're going to leave, and things will revert to the way that they are. The underlying issues are still there.
Indeed.
If crime was like really, really out of control, I mean, they should have sent them into Oakland in the 90s.
Right.
I mean, New York City in the in the 80s, right? Yeah, exactly.
I mean, look, towns right now in Missouri and Ohio with crime rates exceptionally higher, but this ain't about that. What this is about is, in my opinion, he has actually the ability to assert some level of dominance over DC. It's a weird proviso. Should he be doing it? Absolutely not. Have most people done it? No. But he's got the right and the ability to do it. But he's testing the waters. He's testing the waters to see, if I can do this here and people are behind this, can I do this elsewhere? Can I start asserting this dominance in Chicago to scare people? This is 1984. This is V for Vendetta. But this is also a guy who, like, clearly, because he ain't fixing the economy and doesn't know shit about the economy, is just sitting here like doing stupid shit across the country. Like, he wants to, handle water in California. He wants to handle gerrymandering in Texas. He wants to handle crime in DC. And it's like, bitch, solve major issues that are dealing in
I was gonna chime in there. He just like, but I was gonna say he wants to rename rename Washington back to the Redskins, right? Like, he's like, that's not your call, bruh.
Yeah, and then like the Cleveland, what the shit are they? The Guardians, back to the Indians and shit.
Yeah.
Um,
Which some Native
hell, give
Americans
the
I was reading, they
off
actually
the
do. Right?
island.
The Guardian's name does suck though, man. I wish they would have
Oh,
just.
it's terrible.
It's horrible. Like I even wish Washington would at least stay the Washington Football Club or something. But I don't. Yeah.
Commanders.
I
I was reading that some Native Americans
they want
actually
it back.
they do want it back. And when I read about it and listened to like the history behind it and what it means, I was like, well, damn, why'd they change it?
Because we like getting offended for people on their behalf.
And the people themselves are like, well, we're actually not bothered by it. Many of them. Anyway, back to you.
Yeah,
Omar.
man. No, I mean, I'm with you completely, but I'd be wary about where this is going. We can be offended all we want. We could say it's a transgression of power, which interestingly or not, it is not. I think it is more to the tune of testing waters to see, are we at an interesting precipice where someone is exerting executive force well beyond the scope of what the executive should be doing, in a better effort to say, hey, if we could pull this off in DC, let's go into Oakland, let's go into Chicago. Maybe we go into those towns during midterm elections.
So question then. So are you saying
maybe we start intimidating voters?
So are you saying, you said that he has, I guess, the space, the ability, the proximity, whatever it is, to be able to do it in DC. Is that because he lives there?
No.
Because why? Like, what gives him the right
to? It ain't no state.
Yeah,
it's a federal district.
Right. And that applies.
It's not a state. And this is why DC keeps applying for statehood, so that they can have the autonomy of not only votes, representation, but also complete autonomy over taxes, law enforcement, police, fire, everything. This is all about DC statehood, which is something DC has been pressing for, at this point, decades. Like at least like it's been a 20-year endeavor for DC statehood. So he does have the right, because it's still under a federal district situation. But this is what he's doing as a playground to essentially say, if I can assert this authority and get away with it, can I get away with it in other places? Can I get away with it during a midterm election? How about, can I get away with it in 2026 when I should be leaving and I'm just gonna not?
Do you think if DC had a mayor, even if it was like a liberal white man, right? Do you think he would?
Bowser.
Well,
yeah, I mean, DC does have a mayor.
It has a mayor, of course, but what I'm saying is, like, if the mayor were a liberal white man, do you think he would be doing what he's doing? Like, has he engaged the mayor's office in this current campaign?
Hell no.
I don't think if it was a man it would matter. I think if it was a Republican, if it was a MAGA Republican, he wouldn't. But I think anybody else that it makes political sense to kind of son, he absolutely would. I think he would prefer. I think he would prefer that Gavin Newsom be the mayor of DC so he could do this. Like, that's why California, him and Gavin are jockeying, right? Like,
they're
jockeying. So I think that, like, and listen, Gavin is one to play with, right? Because Gavin plays these. Gavin is a political hawk as well, right? And I think, so to answer your question, David, without me being long-winded, I don't think it's more so about it being a woman versus a man. I think it's about a liberal versus a MAGA Republican, and I need to make an example. Same thing that Texas did when they said, oh, no, we don't want these people here, but, oh, Chicago, New York, California, y'all a sanctuary, y'all deal with it. Y'all, or the same thing with, we're going to change we're going to gerrymander and we're going to change it because Republicans deserve more seats. And then Gavin is like, well, I wish you would, because we got some things we need to do in California. And then New York was like, oh, we can move some things too, right? There's a lot of war games being played. And listen, man, and this stuff sounds good to people and people get excited about it. But let me remind you, when the elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers, man. It's the grass that suffers. And I'm not amused by this shit. What I wish would have happened was, I'm not even going to use a black or a brown community. Let's say Italian. Let's say there's famous Italian neighborhoods here. And let's say crime was crazy or something was happening or whatever the case was, and it came down to something like this. I would prefer to see local Italian people that live in that community, whether they be cops or otherwise. I want to see citizens take their communities back. I want to see that.
Right.
But we haven't done it either. And that's the thing, right? Like, I mean, and I know there's some fringe groups around that may have. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. I'm talking about, you know, and I'm looking at a larger swath of people. But yeah, man. So I didn't mean to cut you off there, David. I just was
No, I wanted to call it the fact that DC does have a mayor and a city council, right?
Yeah.
So they have political infrastructure and leadership that's been totally bypassed. And again, I'll just go back to it. I agree with you, Charles. Like if there's a community that's struggling with crime, with cultural issues, whatever it is, the best solution will come from the community and by the community, right? We know that's what lasts the longest. That's what will have like actual lasting impact. But this is all happening at a time when, you know, crime in DC, all the indicators are going in the right direction, right? And so, like, again, like why it's actually kind of a very interesting. I mean, you shared some of the data earlier, Jubilee, but I mean, the city is essentially like seeing significant drops in all kinds of crime, all kinds.
Yep.
So, like, the question is like, why now?
Good question. So that brings us to our last question for this segment, and you kind of segued into it, David. So beyond
David's a pro. He's the
he's a pro.
I didn't see that. Yeah,
he's the guy.
We have to get you a T-shirt though, but we have to come to consensus on what's it gonna is it beard of knowledge, beard of wisdom, or beard of wisdom and knowledge, huh?
It's too long. It's got to be like
long.
That is if we create an acronym that's a BOAC. Think about it.
Okay, I'll think about it. I'll come back to you.
BOAC, baby.
Is he a bow or a bop? Beard of wisdom.
Take that. Little bow wow.
But yes, but thank you for segueing us into that. Like, let's help the people, because let's just say that Donald Trump or one of his cronies or someone was going to join us here on South Star Class. after Omar finishes cursing them out and reading them for filth, what strategies might we propose that could more effectively reduce violence in urban areas like DC, Baltimore, and NYC? Now, let's just make sure we put the caveat, right, that crime is decreasing in this area, right? It's declining. And it's a positive trend, right? Like, but that's not what's being publicized and all of that, right? So let's just put that out there. But what else? So David, you talked about the community. What other strategies could more effectively reduce violence and even homelessness in urban areas? Because this
well, are we talking about violence or are we talking about homelessness?
Listen, here's why I say both, because this initiative
Connected.
Yeah, they're trying to address both violence and homelessness. So there are clips of, you know, young Black dudes being asked for ID on their own stoops. Do you live here? Are you smoking weed? Are you doing this? Right? The old stop and frisk. We've seen, you know, Black boys on the corner, you know, that whole thing. Then there's also homeless encampments where they're sending dump trucks and, you know, demolition trucks or whatever to literally yank the tent with the people in them, right? To you know, whatever, discombobulate the encampments, right? So it's really both. So what strategies? You can pick one or talk about both, but what do we got?
I mean, I will say it quickly, and then I'm going to turn it over to others. I think you make a good point. I think housing affordability is an important strategy. You know, I think we talked about education on the show. I think access to like good, engaging, high quality education, you're going to get fewer youth to drop out and become disenfranchised and get mixed up in the, you know, criminal justice system. I think all of the economic indicators that we talked about, access to, you know, good, healthy, affordable food, healthcare, I think are all important. Those are all like basic, like quality of life, you know, indicators that, you know, if those indicators aren't right, you're going to have these conditions. You're going to create the conditions for crime. And I think at the same time, you also need good law enforcement. I mean, we need to have laws, and if people don't follow the laws, like there are consequences. But I also think that much, like we talk about, in schools, it's important to have educators and school leaders that are from and familiar with the communities that they're working in. Same with law enforcement. I'm talking about like local, DC police, people that are from the community. I know in Oakland, there's a massive disconnect. In LA, there's a disconnect. People that are policing the streets aren't from those communities. That's a problem. And you amplify that when you send in federal troops that are foreigners to DC, right?
Yes.
You're talking about like young kids from like Kansas and now, in the 7th or 8th ward in DC, and we're like, wow, this is a trip, man. Yeah, you're not from here, right? And they're tasked with like policing the community. That's a recipe for disaster. So
Yeah.
Great. Other thoughts?
Omar.
Okay, good. All right. Everything that David said, I would agree with in terms of a holistic approach. I would dive deeper into. We studied this a ton at the Kennedy School, which is if you have a police force that does three things. One, they're doing intense data tracking. So they're already using data to basically like drive decisions, which is like, hey man, like we're using a grid system to figure out where are all things happening and where do we need increased presence. And oftentimes police forces intelligently will be like, hey, maybe we are concentrating too much on black crime and we should be going after these like rat ass like Wall Street bastards and shit and figuring out like blue collar crime in these areas and investigating it. It's one, just using data to basically profile crime as opposed to color, which is like shit. I still live in Texas. That is definitively how they're using like crime rates outside of Houston. Two, it's the community driven approach to police officering where they're developing community relationships but living in the community. That has proven time and time again to have extraordinarily positive and effective crime rates going down exponentially because police are now being trusted. They're building relationships, people in the community, living in the community. And as a result, like people are more inclined to say, hey, listen, like we're going to report this because we know this guy ain't going to go after us. He's going to go after folks that are actually committing crimes and not just after me because I'm black or brown. I think that is the most prolific thing that a police force can do. Not I think, I definitively know. They've done that study across Chicago, Jersey, Brooklyn, Baltimore, Oakland, San Francisco, same results, every town, exponential decreases. It's just like that takes money and that takes recruitment from the community. And that's the third thing that David mentioned is like you're getting a bunch of cats from outside of the city to come police a city that they know nothing about, as opposed to people from the city, from the community, coming back in, building that trust. That is something that is absolutely easy to do. But police officers must also have different incentives. So oftentimes police forces will be incentivized for arrests or incentivized to use their military grade shit. Like why are like these motherfuckers got tanks and shit.
Crazy.
You got a tank and they're incentivized to use it because like, why do we have a tank if we're not going to use it? So like, it's the itchy trigger finger dilemma that we study in public policy, which is people who own guns and carry them around with frequency will use them at an exponentially higher rate because they want to use them. If you're like me and Charles, we got guns, they're in the house. I'm going to assume that yours are probably in some sort of safe somewhere and accessible when they need to be.
Safe, middle console, a few other places. I have a license for all the,
Right, exactly. Yeah, me too. And the thing is that like that is a different sort than like I'm going to carry this gun around all the time because police officers carrying around guns all the time, itchy trigger finger. Well, when am I going to get to use this thing? I want to use this thing. I signed up for the force for a reason. So what you've got is instead of a community-based situation, sadly, Jubilee, the financial incentivization of excessive force. We will get more money if we use these things, if we get more arrests, if we demonstrate that we're using these financial resources, because it's like use it or lose it. So they're like, all right, fuck it, let's get the tank. Let's get the tank and let's drive a tank to Target and run over customers and shit.
Yeah.
So that, in my opinion, is something that is less about federal involvement, even less about police involvement, and significantly more around the leadership of a police department and a police chief to say, we're going to reevaluate our incentive structures, reevaluate the community position, and reevaluate how the culture of this group is going to function versus the monetary construction of like, let's just shoot first and ask later. Straight up, what's still going on?
I'll say with strategy for me, I'm gonna answer in two ways. Immediate strategy, like right now, and then long-term investment strategy. Immediate strategy right now, you have to find like different ways to enforce. Like people have to understand there's a difference between like living with and then order. When you bring in the feds, that's an order. Like this is an order charge, meaning like, and there's a time and place for that. When there's wildfires in California, you don't need somebody that's coming in and trying to be part of the community. We need you in an orderly fashion, line up, go. Like when Katrina was happening, I don't need to, we got limited resources, we got limited time. This is what's happening. You need that presence. When you're talking about living with, right? Like you don't want people living under that's not a, California wildfires is not a constant living situation. Katrina should not be a constant living situation. So having somebody like be the order people of your place, you're treating those people like they're like in that type of situation. And that's just a recipe for a disaster. So I would say don't do that unless that's what you're trying to do. I think if we're really trying to solve actual strategies for this, if they were here right now, it'll say, who are the people that this community trusts? Who are the folks that we can, what is it that we can do? And like, let's kind of build this out. I think long-term investment things, though, are the boring things that we always talk about. I think one, and this is why, Jubilee, I asked you, are we doing the violence or are we doing the health? I mean, the homelessness, because it completely shifts how I'm looking at this. If we would have stuck to violence, I would be very, very much more focused and concentrated. But since you brought in homelessness, I'm lighting up all the leaders because California lost $4 billion. Like, I don't know if anybody is aware of this. $4 billion.
Yeah, just fucking lost on like what we get for homelessness
problem, and it's just gone. Like motherfuckers just don't know where it went. $4 billion went. With that $4 billion, you could make all kind of summer youth work programs. You could reopen YMCAs and boys clubs and girls clubs. You can have like job centers. You can actually be like FDR. You could create a job works program of like, hey, what are the things we need to fix in LA? What are the things we need to fix in Oakland or San Francisco? We're going to put $1 billion of it to where we got the materials, we got the stuff, and we got the salaries to pay people. And then that changes the economical, setting for people in that way. I would say a deeper, more strategic and effective look at literacy rates and like, how are we changing that? Not just for students, but for our communities. Like how are we making sure that adult literacy is actually different? And because listen, when you take people's humanity away, when people don't have hope, when they don't have those things, at some point they succumb to those places, man. And I grew up in it. And that's why I was asking Jube and team, because violence, I was in a different place. Homelessness, I grew up homeless. I was homeless for a significant part of my life. And California and people in California and the place that I love are very good at correcting people like me who lived it and saying, well, we don't say homeless. It's now unhoused. It's this. You care more about what the fuck is called or the name and title than just getting me a house. Like I don't care. You could call it the blue man in the sky if I'm not in a shelter no more, but I'm with my family in a safe home. So, that was a good live podcast moment, y'all, because it shifted my whole like personal look at how that was going. I mean, we could go deeper and deeper into that. You know what I'm saying? I just I don't want to just do this to win an argument. Like I don't want to just be Trump sucks. His administration sucks. These Republicans suck. All right, cool. Like, but I can't worry about trying to get points on the Democratic side or for my team or things like that. There's actual people that are struggling and hurting and poor.
Need solutions.
Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I know what's happening in Texas. I know that there's like Republicans, people with a lot of money and power that's like, we want to change this. But guess what? There's also Democratic, powerful people that's like, hey, team, this might be a good one. I'm going to put on my bonnet and y'all come take a picture of me. And like, what the fuck are we doing? Both of y'all. Both of y'all. Everybody is stupid here. That's like, and always make David everybody's dad. That's like David got 2 teenage sons and he said, take out the trash. And he gets home at 10 o'clock and they playing a game and arguing with each other or disrespecting their mom. He's going to be like, both of y'all, take out the fucking garbage. Like, go take out the trash. Somebody somewhere has to be an adult. And we do not have any adults that have an R or a D next to them at this current moment.
Help us. Well, tell them why you mad. That was
son. You gotta say the whole thing. I'm gonna help you out.
Oh my God!
Tell them why you mad, son. This is your hood. This is your. God forbid let me tell David something about Mexican culture or a place where he grew up. Let me tell Omar about what it's like being at the the Kennedy School. You see what I'm saying? This is you rep this.
It's not the same. You talking about music and you talking about my hood.
You ain't got to worry about the three of us. You gonna go back home and they gonna be like, we saw the show, B.
They not. They not. As long as I understand that you go to the bodega to get a bacon, egg, and cheese, that's one word, okay? Yeah. And you speed walk everywhere. There's no such thing as slowness in New York City. I'll be fine, okay?
I got you.
Now, but again, hip hop historian, thank you for telling them why you're mad. And so we've got about 7 minutes left. Do we want to do
I told her to do one question, y'all. Everybody listen to me. I said we got one question.
I did too. But then the conversation just naturally evolved, and here we are. And I would like to ask for some sort of protection from Charles and his
protection.
He has come for me. And this is episode 200. It's supposed to be a celebration or a celebrate, as I say to myself.
Celebration, bitches, enjoy yourselves.
And all he has done is attack me for this entire episode.
It's not true.
Anyway, so now we have 6 minutes since Charles wanted to make another point to reflect on whatever Charles is about to say, our episodes or whatever. Take it away, Charles, damn it.
No, I mean, we could do it another time too. I just am so grateful for you all as a team. I think, Ju, with you coming in later on, I think you were just, you added so much just here. And I think just also that with like the 2 black, 2 brown and like the dynamic and adding the lady to the conversation, I do think it's opened us up in a lot of ways. And we're grateful for you. I mean, I truly mean that. I give Omar a lot of shit too. The only person I don't give shit is David, and it's just because of this is where I hold David. I just don't joke with David the same as I do with y'all. But I will say to the internet,
I know where you live, man. I know where you live.
David is just.
I do not.
All y'all mean something to me, but David took me in early on, man. I'm just forever different. But I think with Omar, man, my international man of mystery, where we don't know what mountain he's at or what race he is today. He's ambiguous. He's all over, and he's just a good dude, man. He's just a good dude, and I think I'm so grateful for none of this happens without Omar, and none of it does. Omar, when I did 8 Black Hands, we did our first live show in Oakland, and Omar was there, and he came up.
Love that show.
And I kept my word. I was like, I really meant it, that I wanted to do something with him, man. And he's become one of my dearest friends. And then it's not enough I can say about David. Again, I'm gonna start fucking with David some more because I just need to.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Take that, David. Take that. Take that shit.
Hey, y'all, did anybody recognize that Jubilee Green? She wanted to match the wall. So yeah. So I would just say like
he dragged it the movement.
So David. So back to David. David is I just think David is just the embodiment. I think I take a lot of cues from David, and one of the cues, and you see it in this show, is both sides need to be mad at you. If things are jacked up, if people are not getting what they deserve and what they need, then and you see the truth, everybody should be mad at you because you speaking the truth and you speaking at the power. And Dave is one of the only people I know where both the reformers and the union love to fuck with it. And he takes it, and I admire him, man. But we had 200, and you know, I just wanted to reflect on that a little bit. I did want to do just a show where we just kind of messed around with it, but I just wanted to just say thank you and say thank you to our people like Alonzo, Miss Toya. You know, like I got to name. You got to name these people, man. Nicole, Bill Conrad. Like I think Bill might have been following me since I had my radio show. I had a talk radio show for like 5 years on Christian radio.
That's cool.
People didn't know that. Yeah, I love doing it. It wasn't really a Christian show, but it was Christian enough. But it was great. My co-host is probably a pastor somewhere though now. It was a really great show. So I know I took up a lot of time. I took a little liberty there, but I'm just so grateful and honored to be with this group. And
my mommy. Shout out to my mommy.
Shout out to your mama and your daddy. Like you got dads. We be doing dads dirty out here, B. Like dads get done dirty. I know people don't like Cosby no more, but Cosby got the greatest joke of all time about like the dad that breaks his kid up, takes him to every football practice, disciplines him, pays for everything, gets him to the Super Bowl, wins the Super Bowl, becomes MVP, and goes up to the microphone and say, "I want to thank my mama." And so that's what happens in America. But I appreciate
Carlos Mencia stole that joke from Bill Cosby.
He did. Carlos
Mencia steals every joke from everybody, man. He's a fucking shameless piece of shit. He's a disparagement.
He said he was Mexican.
No, they're going to la chingada ese güey. Se va a la verga, güey. No, ese güey se puede ir a la verga, güey, dude. Like, that guy doesn't rep us. He ain't rep shit. Put a sombrero on that motherfucker, dude. Maybe he'll become convincing.
Well, he'll wear. David, have you heard when Cosby? Have you heard Cosby delivery?
Chino XL.
Okay,
definitely.
That's some West Coast shit right there.
I know Chino, man. He passed away not too long ago.
Chino passed away? No shit.
He passed away. Died.
Well, he was East Coast.
Yeah, he came at Tupac. It was like a very famous thing when Tupac was in jail. But Chino could rap. We're going back into hip hop stuff. Let me stop doing
you see, because
no, it's just my generation.
Ain't we in the same generation?
David, what were you saying, brother? I want to
ooh, with a smile. Y'all don't see what he doing, but that's fine. Because one day
man, this is a fun as hell episode, man. This shit wild.
Do this taping live.
Because y'all see
this person.
You know, this is what should have happened. David and Omar is like, I should have just stayed the only black person. You know what I'm saying? Because then you get another black, and then we get real familiar with each other.
Man, we need all that feminine energy that we can get. Hey,
I know. You probably should add another layer, to be honest with you. They don't double team me.
Going at each other's throats for being the Mexicans. It's like that movie, Not Another Teen Movie. You ever see that?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, sure. Where it's like, hey, man, what are you doing here?
He's like, these are my white people.
I'm supposed to be the only black person at this party. Oh, shit, my bad. Yeah.
And the funny thing was, David, if you watch it,
that shit's whack.
The funny thing is, that's the role they play in real life in movies. So they are two black actors that are famous for being the black friend in movies. So it was just a funny tongue-in-cheek thing.
It's called Not Another Teen Movie. There was a brilliant Chris Evans, dude, fucking Captain America.
But Omar, now let's not. It's not an Oscar-winning movie now, y'all. It's
not even remotely. No, not even. I mean, you should have guessed that from Not Another Teen Movie. It's not called The Piano, motherfuckers. Like this shit is funny as hell, but it may melt your brain a little bit.
Yes.
No more so than what's going on social media and shit.
Well, I'm shouting out Omar Yanar, who I got to meet in El Paso.
Indeed, man.
It's been freaking, was this 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago?
Indeed.
And when it was time for me to transition for the organization that I was working for, Omar was like, it does not end here. I got an idea. There's a show you got to be on. I'm going to talk to the guys and see what they say, and the rest is history. So shout out to Omar for, just bringing me in, and I don't know what I don't know what Charles. Yes,
Jube, he came ready for you, Jube. He was ready. And then me and Dave was like, okay.
Yeah. I believe in Jubilee.
Thank you.
Hey,
We're like,
Jubilee,
all right,
anytime you want to come to El Paso and run
I'll be back.
schools and help run an organization, anytime you want to come back and run shit, you have an open invitation.
Hey, bro, you just offered a job on air, bro. You all right?
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
you better,
Oh, yeah.
Jube better be moving on El Paso on this thing, dude.
I won't move, but I could fly back and forth. Like that was a nice little time. Well, guess what?
Good times.
It's 7:02.
It's time.
Maybe we want to do reflection for episode 201.
It's fine. It's over. We got to get to another 100 episodes to do it. It's fine. You know,
I watch him drag this for the next 100 episode to say the reason why we didn't get to reflect is because Jubilee asked 2 questions instead of 1. That's what he's gonna say.
Listen, I get asked to produce. I produce. People don't listen to the producer.
I had a good ass time on this show, man. I don't give a fuck.
It was fun. It was a fun show.
Good ass time, and we needed a nice fun show.
And
There's
for the
so much
people out
shit
there,
going on.
me and Jubilee actually get along pretty well. No, here's the thing. I get real shit though. I get real shit for these shows. Like leave that girl alone. And then I'm like, first off, get it.
Fuck your click. Fuck your bitch and the click you claim.
That's why I do it more. It ain't even Jubilee's fault at this point. I just be getting mad. I get text messages like protect black women. Like what the fuck? What you talking about?
Protect black women.
Oh my god.
Like yes. All right. Well, it's 7:03. Charles loves me from the bottom of his heart.
I wouldn't say all that, but
I mean, it's true. It's true. He's not willing to say it on air. That's fine. Maybe episode 201 he'll say it. But anyway, I am Jubilee. That's Dr. Charles Cole III, bit of wisdom and knowledge. David Castillo. You have been tuned into the South Star Classroom, episode 200. We want to see you next week. Same that time.
Yeah, that was fun, y'all. I hope y'all had as much fun with us as we did, giving y'all that. Just thank y'all, man. Have a good one.
Here we go.